It's all just record breaking. Altcoin market cap chart. Look at this weekly candle that's playing out right now. Ethereum, we have some incredible just short-term structure that's setting up right now that I want to go over in this video. And I want to look at ADA charts as well. Look at the Binance weekly wick on this candle. And I want to start this video by showing you why I am not concerned at all. I've just become even like 10x more bullish than I already was, and I really do. I want to show you, and I want to start this video with a clip. This is from around 2 weeks ago, September 26th. Check this out. This is in relation to ADA price action. Things get really bad. This swing low that we did have back here in June and April of around 51 cents is an area we should watch for as well. So support potentially there. Things get crazy bad. Capitulation for altcoins. You might see ADA just capitulate below that area. That might be the bottom, but you can see how this could make. So we're going to talk more about that price action that happened on this Cardano Binance chart, but other charts looking a little bit different. But we're going to talk about this exact move on ADA, Ethereum, and the total crypto market cap. This is excluding Bitcoin. This is altcoin. So hit the subscribe and like on the way in. And if you're not in our intelligence system with our risk models that are helping all of our members, including myself, just as a roadmap for this cycle so that we can plan and strategize based off of risk, not just complete speculation, start planning our exits to take profits. Believe it or not, take profits. This cycle in a bull run, the bull run that I don't think happened yet, hit the link below. We have a free trial going on right now. We have a ton of risk models back there. So go explore and set up your strategies. So let's start with just a couple things. I am incredibly bullish right now. You know I've been bullish for a while anyway. You know I don't think the altcoin bull run has happened yet. I think Bitcoin's going higher, altcoins are going higher. And now that we've had this massive, on this altcoin market cap chart, this massive reset, I want to talk about a couple of things. I saw Anthony Pompliano posted, this was yesterday, last night. If you were bullish on Bitcoin and stocks 2 days ago, you should be even more bullish now. None of the fundamentals changed in the last 48 hours. We simply got a healthy reset that wiped out the excess leverage in the system. Now the market is cleared to go higher. And I want to explain something to you. This is what happened from just a data perspective, and it gives perspective. COVID crash was $1.2 billion in liquidations. FTX crash, $1.6 billion. Today, and this was yesterday, $19.16 billion in liquidations. That's insane to me. Because if you remember the COVID crash, the FTX crash, those events were like, they were just way bigger events than just Trump posting, hey, 100% tariff on China. And 19.16 billion in liquidations, the biggest liquidation event in history of crypto and almost 20x bigger than the COVID crash of March 2020. And I want to just speak to that for a moment, and then we're going to dissect these charts. Think about if we actually go to the altcoin market cap chart and we go back to COVID. There's that COVID swing low. We're talking about liquidations were that much more than what was going on back then. Do you remember what was happening then? The fear and the bounce. This was the beginning of the altcoin bull market. And I want to revisit this. This was 5 years ago. This was in March 2020, March 17, 2020. Check this clip out in the middle of that crazy fear in the markets today. So Bitcoin will recover faster than most think. I said that because Bitcoin, guess what? When fear subsides, will recover. And traditional markets will do the same thing. I truly believe that. I will say the same thing right now. And just to give you a sense, I'm saying that all the way back here, mid-March, altcoin market cap at like $50 to $60 billion somewhere probably. And now the altcoin market cap is at $1.48 trillion. So the growth of the space is on a higher high, higher low trajectory. That just is what it is. And I think that's going to continue. We are in a brand new environment from a legislative perspective. We are entering, I think, a good part of the business cycle for altcoins, and we are ready. So let's discuss. So there's the weekly candle. It is worth updating. I updated in last night's video. Just, we've been talking about, it would make sense not to break out here, right? The way that the market has seemingly been manipulated and just altcoins are just having trouble breaking out, it would make sense for this not to happen. And what has been in play is the 20 and the 50-week moving averages. We made the move to that area. So now that that's happened, that doesn't immediately mean the bottom is in. We could trickle down and close candles in this area, and I would just be prepared for that. I'm not saying that's absolutely going to happen, but I would be prepared for it. Now, if we want to get a little bit of a roadmap in terms of what's going on here, I want to point something out to you. So here's FTX, right? I think it's somewhere in there. FTX, just all of the liquidations that were happening then, and this was like November 2022. If you go to the altcoin risk model, for instance, and you just go to November 2022, I just want to show you something because this for me gives me perspective. Here's October, and then let me zoom back out. I got all messed up. So here's November 2022. Look at that risk score, 9. Here's this big crash, 7. And it's just sideways and trickling around in the single digits. And this marked really the bottom, right, of the 2022 bear market. If we go to the altcoin market cap chart, right, all of that was just like the bottom. It just is crazy to me that we're not much higher in terms of risk. And the altcoin market cap chart and the altcoin charts in general, we've just had a steady higher high, higher low growth. This is one piece of data, and that is the risk model. And you can open up and start studying other risk models. Go study Solana. If you own Solana, get our risk model and just plan around risk, because study this chart. What does this 31 mean in terms of risk for Solana? And what does the risk scores in all of these altcoins mean? Because right now, in my opinion, we are in a very healthy pre-bull market move. And as Anthony Pompliano was kind of suggesting, the market is reset. It was a healthy reset, and we're cleared to go higher. So if you want that altcoin bull market, what happened yesterday, I think, is setting up for this to be even a stronger bull market for altcoins. So if we go to the Ethereum chart, then we're going to look at the ADA chart and really start studying price action. The thing I wanted to mention is Ethereum. If you've been watching my videos, we were tracking this consolidation back here. Ethereum hit the target to the apex, the upper trend line in particular of this multi-year triangle. I know I've got a lot of lines, but it's a huge triangle. We broke to the upside. The pullback, I should say, the throwback to this area is normal. We hit the target. And just as I'm saying with the altcoin market cap chart and every chart, right now, we have to let this play out, right? We could trickle further down. This happens often. Like we get a capitulation event, people think the bottom is in, and it's just like, it just falls further into it. You know what I mean? And then we got to start monitoring shorter term bullish divergence on the momentum oscillators and just start evaluating what's happening. Right now, we're already getting a little bit of bullish divergence, right? So lower low on price on Ethereum, higher low on the RSI right now. So the bottom could be in, but I want to just be very careful of that. And let's just see how we consolidate going into the beginning of the week. But one thing I noticed is we might have this larger term structure now. We have a swing low, all of this choppiness up here for upper trend line. Now we have a new swing low. We have a lower trend line potentially being set up right now. Want to give it a little bit more time. But if we get a higher low here, we might have some type of symmetrical triangle structure in play. And this could be a very nice setup for the continuation of the Ethereum bull market going into Q4 and Q1 2026, and really the altcoin bull market. So target to the upside out of that speculative pattern as of now is 6,300. How many patterns do we speculate though? How many moves do we speculate that oftentimes seem to play out like this broken pattern, this busted pattern? We were breaking to the downside, and I was saying, be ready for a busted pattern. That is kind of a fake breakout to the downside and a bounce right through it all. And this is the move that is very much in play on Ethereum, and it's looking very nice for Ethereum and altcoins right now. So let's continue monitoring structure there. I want to go look at the ADA move. So this is the ADA Binance chart. I'm going to use it because it has way more data when we're looking throughout cycles than something like this Coinbase chart. But you can see the difference, right? So Coinbase chart, just very normal looking, right? Even we're in a higher low type of area from the swing low that ADA had back here in June. But the thing about the Coinbase chart is I like to glance at a zoomed out weekly and get perspective, right? And this is what's happening here. It's like getting perspective. One thing I do want to point to your attention, we looked at the data, right? COVID, 1.2 billion liquidations. FTX, 1.6. Yesterday, 19.16. So if you go look at the ADA chart, right, and you can just go and we can point to, there's the COVID. We've had more liquidations here, way more, than back here. Guess what this was? That was the bottom for ADA. And you see, even just this week after, indecisive went down into the wick of that capitulation, went up, ended kind of sideways. Indecisiveness. Even the week after, not much of a move. And then it started gradually trending up. Right now, maybe we have something like that in play, right? Just indecisiveness. Maybe this coming week we go lower and people are freaking out, and then we're back up, and then we're sideways. And we got to give this a little bit of time to bottom out. One thing, even on the Binance chart, we are above right now, the weekly candle, above the 200-week moving average. It's around 57 cents. This is really like a bull market versus bear market area to watch. And that's why I have it at this lower end of the bull market doors. But you can see this is an area of resistance for ADA. And ADA right now actually trying to turn it into an area of support. And I think that's for a bull environment. The upper end of the bull market doors, if you've been watching my videos, you know $1.20, $1.25. And I'm still just waiting for that, right? As we evaluate all of these markets. So that's ADA on the weekly. If you want to go to the daily, I think the structure that's playing out on the Ethereum chart is a little bit more helpful than what's going on the Cardano chart. But we can monitor everything that we've been kind of monitoring for ADA. That is to say, we had this pattern that we were tracking. We were getting a little bit of a pullback to the trend line, and then boom, we hit our target that we talked about. I showed you a clip. This is from end of September 26th. We hit our target to the downside. It's reset. So, for me, I can get rid of this pattern. We don't have to talk about it anymore. Target hit. We anticipated downside. It is what it is. I think the mid 60s was the general range, and this is where we are right now. Now we monitor particularly the higher low for ADA. So swing low back here to swing high, there's the Fibonacci, and we are right in that range right now. Let's monitor to see if support holds, and let's really monitor to see how the weekly candle closes as it interacts with that higher low Fibonacci. But the wick on the Binance chart right now is just insane to look at. To the upside on the daily chart, targets to watch. 74 cents, the 200-day, 20-day is 80, and the 50-day is 84. So 84 cents to around 74 cents. That's the channel. We want to see ADA make a move to and through to start reversing the trend. The bulls start gaining momentum, getting the upper hand in at least within context of ADA. So this is what I'm watching today, everybody. I'm not panicking. I'm allowing for more downside because it very well could happen as we kind of find out more news even going into this new week. Anything can happen that could trigger more downside or could trigger a bounce. So good to be careful, anticipate all scenarios. But right now, crypto on the macro, in my opinion, is looking very good. It's requiring patience for sure, but I'm here for it. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this content. And if you're not in our intelligence system, once again, just join our members, try it out, get into our risk models, start planning, start strategizing. If you're a serious long-term investor, I think it can be valuable to you. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.